All right. Famed biologist Richard Dawkins sparks Twitter row.
Oh, this was great.
With eugenics.
This was so
would
good.
Work for humans argument.
This was so good.
So he wrote this. Outspoken atheist Professor Richard Dawkins is no stranger to controversy, but a tweet arguing that eugenics, the kind of selective breeding advocated by Nazis, would work for humans, has landed in a biologist in hot water. He wrote, and this is his tweet, "It's one thing to deplore eugenics on an ideological, political, or moral grounds. It's quite another to conclude that it wouldn't work in practice. Of course it would. It works for cows, horses, pigs, dogs, and roses. Why on earth would it not work for humans? Facts ignore ideology." Isn't this guy like the big atheist hero, the big lefty atheist hero?
But you know what else he is, Royce? A scientist. So that's you guys are like, this is now, you got to understand, this guy represents another faction of your little leftist utopian group of people that even he's now breaking right. And he knew what he was getting into when he did this.
Of course.
So you understand that you guys with your crazy bullshit, you're going to keep losing factions slowly.
So the thing is with this statement is he's not wrong. Like on a level, he's not. It works with every animal. It would work with humans. He's not incorrect. So of course the people that we all have to look up to, Mike, the verified Twitter people, came out and they just bashed him. Let me read from Greg Epstein. "So unacceptable for Richard Dawkins to tweet about eugenics without clearly condemning it." He did condemn it.
He literally in the follow-up tweet said, "Hey, and by the way, I'm not saying we need to enact eugenics policies. I'm simply pointing out that if it works for plants and animals and all these other things, then clearly it also works in other arenas."
He wrote, his next tweet was, "For those determined to miss the point, I deplore the idea of eugenics as a policy. I simply said deploring it doesn't mean it wouldn't work. Just as we breed cows to yield more milk, we could breed humans to run faster or jump higher." Jimmy the Greek was onto something. But
you know, the black athlete is just very talented.
But
he's trying to get his job back. Very talented guys.
But heaven forbid that we should do it. He continued, "A eugenics policy would be bad. I'm combating the ideological step from X would be bad. So X is impossible. It would work in the same sense as it works for cows. Let's fight it on a moral ground, deny obvious scientific facts, we lose, or at least derail the argument." Then a Charles M. Blow. I don't know who these people are. They give verified tags to everybody. The eugenics, this eugenics crap is so dangerous. Mike, it's dangerous.
Is it?
It's dangerous. This is more dangerous than the coronavirus.
I don't know if that's
in the U.S.
true, though.
In the U.S., it leads to forced sterilization of women in the South, sometimes against their wills, often without their knowledge. That's become so common that they came to be referred to as Mississippi appendectomies. Appendectomies? Appendectomies.
Yeah, appendectomies.
The funny part with all these people that are outraged and blown away by this eugenics thing, love abortion.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They love
when you, especially remember when they were bragging that Iceland,
yeah,
so had like no more Down syndrome.
They get rid of all the Down. They abort all the people with Down syndromes.
And they were like, "How great is that?"
So you don't like eugenics, but so you don't want women, you don't want babies to be made to not be made
babies
because they're black or whatever.
Babies.
But if a woman gets knocked up and she can't afford it because of her job at Arby's, you're okay with it. Like this is where they always lose. This is where they always lose me with this kind of stuff. Like you can't sit there and go, eugenics is bad, but I want to kill my baby because I just can't handle it right now.
Also, eugenics is something that eventually you're not going to be able to stop. Like they're already developing CRISPR and all this other shit, like gene editing. Like this shit's going to happen whether you like it or not. Technology is going to advance whether you like it or not.
Do you know what? Jamiroquai was right. Jamiroquai was right. Now
Virtual
every
insanity?
mother can choose a color. It's a virtual insanity.
I'm so glad
lyric.
this show's almost over because I'm going to hate you.
Like in total? Like forever? I
that
deserve
joke.
it after that. Scott Lynch says, you absolute pinhead simpleton.
Bringing Harvey Firestein in full time.
Scott Lynch says, you absolute pinhead. Richard Dawkins is now a pinhead simpleton.
The fucking nerve of these people, right?
It doesn't work in practice because too many of the goals turn out to be arbitrary fantasies, and too many of those fantasies are pet projects of abusive bigots who fuck up civilization and get their hands on.
Fuck up any civilization they get their hands
You're right.
on.
Are you new here? Christ, yes. Richard Dawkins is new here.
This kind of reveals these people, though, from
course.
the arrogance they have. Like, where you're, you know, like just, these guys are so dumb.
Eugene Gu, MD, while Richard Dawkins is noted biologist, his science on eugenics is bad. How? We turned magnificent.
By the way, you know, I always like when you when people use like really like textbook scientific terms like bad. Right? Like, is that wouldn't that have been like, you know, inaccurate, harmful? Something he was like, yeah, well, his views on eugenics is bad. Like, doesn't he sound borderline retarded? By the way, this is one of those guys where his Twitter
This
bio
guy's been
brags.
around.
Yeah, his Twitter bio brags that he's blocked by Trump.
Founder and CEO of Cool Quit, we fight tobacco addiction with access to doctors.
Oh yeah, you're a real scientist.
He's Asian. He continues. We turn magnificent wolves into pure breed dogs with severe genetic defects, causing joint and heart problems and cancer. In fact, many Cavalier Spaniels develop mitral valve and neurological disorders just because.
That sounds like I don't know, eugenics.
But it is. That's what he's pointing out, that eugenics is bad because of dog. But here's the thing: when people were breeding dogs, like wolves into dogs or whatever you're trying to go for here, in many cases they were breeding them to be pretty. He's talking about you can also breed dog, cows, plants. You could breed them into being functional.
Yeah. Hey, retard! Did you know that you could breed our domestic animals back into wolves after a few generations if you wanted to? Hey, Royce, how would we do that? What kind of science would we use if we wanted to take current day domesticated dogs and bring them back to their glorious nature through breeding? Would you call that eugenics?
This is the last one, and then we could go. Ali A. Rizzi. I get what Richard Dawkins is saying. Nuclear bombs work. That doesn't mean we should use them. Torture can work. That doesn't mean we should use it. Rape can achieve pregnancy, but it's abhorrent. You can denounce these things without denying that they work. Fine. But then the last thing. But why on Twitter, Richard? So the truth is, this guy, you don't want to be. You understand he's not wrong, but you don't want him to You don't want to be publicly confronted with something uncomfortable.
You want to burn his books, dare I say?
Yeah, you don't want to be confronted with something that's uncomfortable that makes you feel, because all those things are true. And why is it on Twitter? Because it's true. He's telling you something that's true. You just want comfortable lies, right? You just want to be told that because this is what these fucking virtue signaling men want, right? They want to be told that, hey man, killing babies is right because I don't have a uterus. No, let's use your same logic. Killing babies is wrong even if you don't have a uterus, right? Like that's always where they fall off. That's always where rape is abhorrent, but killing a fetus in third trimester, which happens, is not abhorrent. That's fine. That's fine because a woman's body is a toy. So what you're telling me is Richard Dawkins is an idiot, but some waitress at Waffle House is smarter than him when she gets 5 abortions. Fuck you. Fuck all of you.